Welcome to everyone for this session. Today we are going to see about Ralph Tyler's model of curriculum development, which in fact acted as one of the most important base model in designing the curriculum. Let's start the topic. Here is the gist for the curriculum. Curriculum is planned, guided learning experiences and intended learning outcomes formulated through the systematic reconstruction of knowledge under the auspices of the school for the continuous and willful growth of the learner. The curriculum, as we know, is the collection of learning experiences based on the framed objectives, which is constructed through a systematic process based on a school or a particular system or a particular course just for the continuous and willful growth of the learner. And this development process involves selection of objectives, contents, learning experiences, as well as organizing and evaluating these to determine the extent to which they are effective in achieving stated objectives. And the curriculum process involves so many considerations as well as models in approaching. Curriculum, meaning and definition. Curriculum is from Latin, which means running or course. In educational terms, it is simplified as course of study. Curriculum takes its root from classical Latin, in which it means running or course, whereas in New Latin, it is simplified as course of study related to the educational terms. The term curriculum refers to the lessons and academic content taught in a school or in a specified course or program. So as we know that curriculum is the collection or the organization of the lessons and academic content which is taught in a school or in a course or a program. Here is the beautiful definition of curriculum given by Cunningham. It is a tool in the hands of the artist to mold his material according to his ideal in his studio. He says that curriculum is a tool in the hands of a teacher to mold the pupil according to the objectives in the school. How do we define curriculum? Curriculum is that which is taught at school. Curriculum is a set of subjects. It is content and sequence of courses. It is a set of performance of objectives. It is all planned learning experiences for which the school is responsible. So curriculum is simplified as a set of subjects or contents which is taught at school, which is framed based on a set of objectives for which the school or a particular organization takes responsibility. Next, we will see about curriculum development. The term curriculum development was first used by Saylor and Alexander in their work Planning Curriculum for Schools in the year 1973. Saylor and Alexander were considered to be among the forerunners of curriculum development. According to them, curriculum development is the creation of relevant experiences and materials used by teachers to bring out the desired behavioral changes in students. Curriculum development is the product of a good curriculum planning. Curriculum development is a product of curriculum construction plus continuous update, which means that the construction of curriculum is based on the continuous update on the basis of changing needs of society as well as learners. Next, we have the general steps involved in the process of curriculum development. They are assess needs, plan, implement, monitor, evaluate, and review. First, the curriculum planners must find out or assess the needs of the society as well as the learners and plan according to it. After planning, they have to implement the curriculum in action and monitor them and evaluate the curriculum on the basis of its outcomes and at last review the curriculum. Next, we'll see about models of curriculum development. Generally, Models serve as a guideline to action. They are found in almost every form of education, as in instruction, of administration, of evaluation, of supervision, etc. Models are regarded as a conceptual framework for designing a curriculum based on the specific purpose of that curriculum. At present, we have various models of curriculum development which have been proposed by different curriculum theorists and authors. Here is the refined list of models of curriculum development which were given more importance. They are Ralph Tyler's model, Wheeler's cycle model, Hilda Taba's model, Nichols and Nichols, and Walker's model. Ralph Tyler's model of curriculum. First, we'll see about Ralph Tyler. He was an American educator who worked in the field of assessment and evaluation. He was called by some as the father of educational evaluation and assessment. He is considered as one of the most important protagonists of the older view of the curriculum. He has published more than 700 articles and 16 books. He is best known for his work, The Basic Principles of Curriculum and Instruction. The Tyler model. It is one of the best known models for curriculum development. It is known for the special attention it gives to the planning phases. It is regarded as one of the most influential models which is proposed for planning and developing the curriculum. The Tyler model is referred as classical model, and it is the quintessential prototype of curriculum development in the scientific approach. It is deductive since it proceeds from general to specific. Thus, the brilliance of Tyler's model is that it was one of the first models, and it was and still highly simple model, suggesting just 4 simple questions. The major components of the Tyler model. This model is often referred as objective model because of its unbiased approach to educational evaluation, and there is a consistency among objectives, learning experiences, and outcomes. According to a curriculum theorist named Keating, he says that the objectives of the Tyler model indicate development in both behavior of the student as well as the area of the content. Tyler designed his model of curriculum in a way which includes 4 questions which must be answered in developing any curriculum and plan of instruction. They are: what educational purposes should the school seek to attain? Question number 2, what educational experiences can be provided that are likely to attain these purposes? How can these educational experiences be effectively organized? And at last, how can we determine whether these purposes are being achieved? So, from these given 4 questions, we come to know that there is a consistency among these questions. That is, what are the purposes must a school seek to attain? And to attain these purposes, what are the learning experiences that can be provided to the students? And how these experiences can be organized effectively? And the way of determining whether they have been achieved or not. So, from the above 4 questions, Tyler has arranged a linear model based on those questions. They are stating objectives, selecting learning experiences based on objectives, and organizing those selected learning experiences and evaluating them. So, these are the 4-step process or linear model of Ralph Tyler's model of curriculum development. Step number 1, purposes of the school. According to Tyler, purposes are objectives. Firstly, curriculum planners should identify these general instructional objectives from 3 sources, which are the subject matter, the learners, and the society from which the learner hails. After obtaining all the objectives, the curriculum planners should refine them by filtering through 2 screens, the philosophy of the school and the psychology of learning. Thirdly, through such screening, specific instructional objectives are identified. Step number 2, selection of learning experiences. Here, the curriculum planners should select the learning experiences based on the attainment of specific objectives. Step number 3, organization of learning experiences. Having the selected learning experiences, it should be organized in a sequential way. For example, if we take mathematics, the basic arithmetic must be taught before succeeding to other forms of arithmetic. Step number 4, evaluation of the purposes. Taylor's last principle emphasizes that curriculum planners should find out whether the learning experiences have actually produced the intended results or not. An evaluation should relate to all the chosen objectives. It should determine whether the program is effective or ineffective, and also it leads to the decision whether the program should be maintained or modified. Next, we'll see components of Tyler's model. In this mind map, we can see that the components or steps in Tyler's model is represented briefly, which gives a clear understanding of the model. First, the education experiences are selected on the basis of 3 sources such as contemporary life or society and learners' needs and interest and subject matter. The objectives obtained from these 3 sources are screened under philosophy of education and psychology of learning. There are 2 screening, and after screening only the specific objectives are obtained. And then according to those specific objectives, learning experiences are identified, and at last evaluation is done on the basis of scope, sequence, continuity, integration, etc. Next, we'll see the strengths and weakness of Tyler's model. Coming to the strengths of the model, number 1, the learners are motivated to actively participate. Number 2, the objectives in this model are clearly defined, and this is a simple linear approach model. Criticisms of the Tyler model. And some curriculum theorists consider the Tyler model as outdated and atheoretical, and it seems difficult and time consuming in the construction of behavioral objectives. In this model, curriculum is restricted to a restricted range of student skills and knowledge. And in this model, critical thinking, problem solving, and value acquiring processes cannot be plainly stated in behavioral objectives. Okay, yes, so we have come to the end of the session. So in the session, we have seen about what is curriculum and the curriculum development and the models involved in curriculum development. And from the model, we have clearly seen Ralph Tyler's model of curriculum development and the 4-step process and its specifications. It's time to review, and I have given some questions for you to review. What is curriculum? Define curriculum development. Explain the 4-step process in Ralph Tyler's model. List out the drawbacks of Ralph Tyler's model. Thank you.